friends, my name is Sarah and today I'm going to share a special story with you. Yo soy Sara y hoy voy a compartir una historia especial con ustedes. And I have two stories. Well, actually it's one story, but one is in Spanish and one is in English. Y yo voy a tratar de hacer ese video para ustedes en inglés y en español. Es un poco difícil compartir los dos a la misma vez, pero voy a tratar lo mejor que puedo. But first, I have something to share with you. I wonder if you know what this is. Is it to comb my hair? Kind of looks like that, but that's not what it is. And is this to, rinse my pasta in? No, it does kind of look like a colander. ¿Qué son esas cosas? Déjanos escuchar un poco para ver si hace un sonido. Did you hear that? This is an instrument called Güira. And this is a comb, but not for combing your hair. It's to make the sound. A güira is made of metal. And you use a little metal comb to scrape the side para hacer un sonido como acabas de oír, ¿verdad? This is a very special instrument, especially in a country called the Dominican Republic. La República Dominicana. I wonder if some of you watching this video are from DR, or maybe your parents or your grandparents are from there. If your grandparents speak Spanish, they might be from DR. There are a lot of countries that speak Spanish, and some people that speak Spanish come from La República Dominicana. I have a story to share with you today that is all about a güira. This book is called Angélica y la Güira, or in English, look, there's two books. In English, it's called Angelica and La Güira. Now, what I'm going to do, I told you, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to read the story in English, but when someone talks, because a lot of people in this story speak Spanish, I'm going to read what they say in Spanish, and I hope you can follow along. This is Angelica and La Güira, written by Angie Cruz. Angie Cruz is from Washington Heights. ¿Tú vives en Washington Heights? Yo sí, y mis niños también. Illustrated by Luz Batista. ¿Saben que el ilustrador es la persona que hace los dibujos? Y el autor o la autora es la persona que escribe las letras. So both people are very important in a book, and sometimes it's the same person. I see a güira right here on the pages. I wonder who this is. I see an older man and a young girl, and they both have a güira. Angelica and la Güira. Angelica and la Güira. All summer, Angelica woke up to the sound of the parrot next door. Soon, she'd say goodbye to the parrot, her tías and primas, grandparents, and the Dominican Republic. That's the country I mentioned to you, the Dominican Republic. The end of summer meant returning home to start school on another shore. I wonder if any of you spend your summers in the Dominican Republic. Angelica does. The day before she left, Abuelito pulled out a wooden box from under his bed and said, Hace más de 100 años, en una tierra abundante de piedras, en el más verde de los valles, entre las montañas, esta güira tocó su canción. Out of the box came a shiny, hollow steel can the length of Angelica's arm. Abuelito held it with his right hand. With his left hand, he scraped its rough surface with a metal comb. Steady like the beat of a drum, he made it sing. Esta güira era de mi mamá. Fue un regalo de su papá, a quien se le había regalado su papá. Es vieja, 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 dijo. Abuelito siguió. Cuando la güira sonaba, la gente viajaba desde todas las esquinas del país para bailar su canción. Esta güira tiene poder. hacer que la música vaya lento, lento, o la acelera para que vaya rápido, rápido. Do you know what lento and rápido are? I bet you can figure it out with the way I say those words. Lento means slow. Rápido, rápido is fast. A veces su tempo es tan rápido que cuando la gente baila su canción, todas las piernas y los pies desaparecen. ¡Puf! Como las tintineantes alas de un picaflor. So Abuelito is saying that the people, when they hear the music of the guira, they are dancing so fast, it's almost like their feet and their legs disappear, kind of like the wings of a hummingbird. Their feet don't actually disappear, but they go so fast that it's hard to see them, just like the wings of a hummingbird. Angelica held la guira and scraped the rough surface with the metal comb. Hazla cantar, dijo Abuelito. And so she did. With each scrape, Angelica imagined the power of la guira. She imagined the room full of people who wanted to dance to the swish and timbre of the magic tin can, dancing so fast their legs and feet disappeared. Can you see the wings on their legs? The illustrator is telling us that their legs and their feet are moving so fast, it's like the wings of the hummingbird, like we just talked about. They don't actually have wings and their feet aren't actually disappearing, but it's making our minds imagine something like that. Angelica finished her song and looked at Abuelito. She didn't want to leave him. She hugged him for a very long time. Recuerda, cuando toques esta guira y llenes las calles de sonido, estarás tocando con todas las personas que estuvieron antes que tú, incluyéndome a mí. De esa manera nunca estamos separados, dijo Abuelito. Te doy esta guira para que la cuides. And now it looks to me like there's an airplane and our beloved George Washington Bridge. I think Angelica is going back to Washington Heights. When she returned home to the land of Washington Heights, Angelica played la guira every time she missed Abuelito. She played in the living room while Mommy worked on the computer, in the kitchen while Papi made his famous roast chicken. Amor mío, ¿podrías ir a tocar la guira en tu habitación, por favor? Preguntó Papi. I think the sound is bothering everyone. I feel bad for Angelica. She just wants to play her guira. Angelica shared a room with her older sister Olivia, who was always practicing capoeira, and her older brother Ben, who spent his free time drawing comics. Angélica, no puedo concentrarme con esa bulla, dijo Olivia. Sí, hombre, Angélica, vete a tocar eso para otro lado, agregó Ben. That night, Angelica wrapped la guira in a towel and slept with it. Maybe she needed a band, she thought. She dreamt of playing with her school orchestra so everyone could see the power of la guira. Did you notice that she said she wrapped her guira in a towel? I wonder why that is. I wonder what it would be like to sleep next to a guira. Ooh, it's so cold. And it's a little scratchy. It's probably a good idea to wrap it with a towel so it doesn't scratch you or bother you when you're sleeping. If you're going to sleep with a guira. Personally, yo no duermo con una guira, pero no soy nadie para juzgarle a ella. The next day at school, Angelica sat in the back of the theater. There were many kids playing instruments. Angelica felt the blare of the horns in her chest and the soft whistle of the flute tickling her ear. She took out la guira and scraped its rough surface with the metal comb. The conductor raised his arms to stop everyone from playing music. ¿Qué es ese sonido? ¿Una cuchara arañando una olla? ¿Monedas dentro de una lata? He turned around and found Angelica, who hadn't noticed that the scraping of la guira was like her loud, fast-talking tía who never uses her inside voice. Lo siento, Angélica, pero el sonido de esa lata no combina con esta música. Tal vez podrías tocar el clarinete o el violín o un trombón. Angelica left the theater, shoulders slumped, determined to find a place to play la guira. I bet Angelica's feeling very sad. She wants to play her guira, and the conductor told her she can't. También dice que salió del teatro con sus hombros caídos, que quiere decir que está muy decepcionada y muy triste. On her way home from school, she stopped by the jazz club. She pressed her ear against the door to listen. First, she heard the bass. Bada boom boom, bada boom boom. Then the drums went tatish tatish. Then the piano played blink blink. Angelica pulled out la guira and scraped the sides with the metal comb. A neighbor bopped her head and smiled at Angelica. Then the door flung open. One of the musicians said, Oye, nena, que estamos tratando de practicar para esta noche y esa guira está estropeando la cosa. Wow, someone else who doesn't want to hear Angelica's guira. Pobre Angelica. Angelica sat on the steps of her building. She felt like a balloon without air. I think that means she feels really disappointed. Her chest hurt and she missed her grandfather, grandmother, her tias, primas, and the neighbor's parrot. Then she remembered what Abuelito told her. Cuando toques esta guira, estarás tocando con todas las personas que estuvieron antes que tú, incluyéndome a mí. In this way, Angelica knew they were always with her. Angelica pulled la guira from her backpack. The scrape, the scratch, the soft chee reminded her of rain hitting the tin roof that protected her grandparents' roosters. She could feel the sound echo inside of her. She could hear Abuelito, her great-grandmother, her great-great-grandfather, and her great-great-great-grandfather all playing their sounds on la guira that was old, old, old. Can you close your eyes and imagine Angelica playing her guira and thinking of her grandfather, her great-great-grandfather, her great-great-great-grandfather, all playing la guira together? The girl with bright red hair who lived across the street walked over with a tambora and sat next to Angelica. ¿Qué chulo suena? ¿Puedo tocar contigo? She asked. Claro que sí, Angelica said. Then her neighbor David sat on his fire escape and played his accordion. I love the sound of an accordion. I'm sorry I don't have one to share with you today. Then the trumpet player from the youth orchestra blared her horn. Then the bass player from the jazz club joined them. Then Papi and Mommy looked out their window and yelled, Angelica, espéranos! I wonder what they're going to do. On that hot, sunny day in the land of Washington Heights, where the Frio Frio woman scraped ice for a long line of customers and the men on the corner plunked dominoes on a makeshift cardboard table, Angelica played la guira fast, fast, and all the other musicians followed her beat. Neighbors, friends, and family traveled great distances to dance to la guira's song. And just like Abuelito said, Angelica watched as people's legs and feet moved so fast to la guira's beat that they disappeared. Okay, they didn't actually disappear, remember? That would be really cool. Y finalmente, Angélica vivió el verdadero poder de la guira. El fin. I hope you enjoyed this story of Angelica and la guira. Angélica y la guira. If you liked this story and you want to see a guira in real life, I have some exciting news for you. Coming up very soon, the Washington Heights Chamber Orchestra is holding another Storytime with the Symphony. It's free. You do need to RSVP though, so please let us know that you're coming in the link below this video. Let us know if you have any questions, and please come hear the story, listen to the instruments play, and come see a guira in real life.